In this episode, exciting Indy at Toronto, NASCAR at New Hampshire, and the new Lamborghini LMDh. Welcome to episode 243 of the We Are Auto Show. What's up, Derek?
Mr. Michael Rao. I was on iRacing the other day.
And
was watching a fellow racer do a race. It was an IMSA race. And in said race was Mr. Grant Talkie.
Oh!
And I was like, I know that name. I know that name. Mr. Grant Talkie is very good at driving. He had the fastest lap of the GT class, and he won the GT class.
Damn, son.
I wasn't that surprised, but he's quick.
He was hustling?
Yeah, he's quick.
So would you consider him alien fast?
No. Nope. He was within reasonable fast.
Okay, so he is a real human.
Consistency was the difference. Yes.
I
think he won that race by over 10 seconds.
Holy cow.
Maybe 15. But it is a 45-minute race, so you can build a gap in that time. But it was still cool to see. And I was like, oh.
I know that name.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Real racing drivers.
That actually reminds me of another iRacing incident that happened. Max Verstappen.
Ah, yes.
Did you see that?
I did.
I was scrolling through social media and I saw Max Verstappen went full revenge mode, baby. He is one of the boys.
Yeah. He got punted and then he decided, I'm murdering you.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that he is just at the end of the day a bro.
Yeah. And he takes iRacing seriously, but you can tell not too seriously.
Yeah.
Because he's like,
because he's the best F1 driver in the world right now.
Right. You murder me? Fine. I'll go end your race. And he did. He didn't care about it one bit.
It was amazing to watch.
Yes, he got DQ'd from that race, but what does he care?
He was full send.
Yeah, it was amazing.
But let's move on to some racing, because there was a couple of races. There wasn't a lot of racing happening. There was an ELMS race, European Le Mans Series race. That was fine to watch. I watched 20 minutes. But realistically, let's talk about Indy and NASCAR. Let's start with Indy.
All right.
So, IndyCar was on the streets of Toronto.
I think it's the second time now, back-to-back years, that they've been to this racetrack, which actually was pretty good.
I actually like the track. I will say it looks like a handful.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like a handful.
Yes. Let me ask you this question. Is IndyCar getting too cookie cutter with the street courses? So we got St. Pete, right? We got Detroit. That's the new one that they just ran. We got this. They used to have Belle Isle, but sure, they swapped that to the streets of Detroit.
Yeah, they got Long Beach.
Are these all kind of just looking the same?
They're starting to.
It kind of feels like it to me.
I think they're starting to all look about the same.
Yeah. You can only look at these cars between concrete barriers so many times before it's like, okay.
There's a building, a barrier, and a building.
Yeah.
I see.
I will say, in the wet, really fun to watch. Did you see qualifying for this?
I did not.
Qualifying was awesome.
Was it?
Because it was rainy, puddly, and then it started to dry up as they got to the end of quali. So the lap times were just getting better and better and better, but there was a specific puddle right before they came through the last corner to cross the start-finish.
Where the manhole cover is.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
And they were just slipping across the start-finish the whole time. Just completely sideways, and it was awesome to watch.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes. The streets of Toronto, I would say it's solid. Not my favorite track that they go to that's a street course.
Agreed.
It's okay. But it did make for some decent racing.
It did. It made for some actually pretty good racing, yeah.
IndyCar always does.
Yeah, again, we've talked about this. IndyCar is maybe one of the most exciting racing to watch right now.
It certainly is. We need to talk about one specific person in IndyCar, though.
Who's that?
Well, I guess there's two, but we'll start with Mr. Grosjean. Mr. Romain Grosjean.
Oh?
He DNF'd.
I know, I watched. And I immediately thought, Grosjean. Another DNF.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
No, it seems very Grosjean-y.
Yes. The beginning of his season was looking absolutely fantastic. He was about to win the St. Pete Grand Prix until he put it in the wall.
Is his season melting down for him?
It's bad now.
What's causing that?
I don't know. I don't know if it's pressure or situations. Did you hear why he crashed here?
No.
He came on the radio and said, "The wheel slipped out of my hand."
He did not say that.
That's what he said.
Get the hell out of here.
You
cannot
what?
say that.
What? Who is a professional racing driver and just lets the steering wheel slip out of their hand?
That's not how that goes.
The crash looked like the wheel slipped out of his hand. Yeah.
I have a theory why his season's not going well.
Why?
So, what is he slated to be in next year?
An LMDh, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Mr. Lamborghini?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Is it maybe because he just kind of doesn't care about Andy anymore because he's got a different ride now?
He might be checked out. I don't know.
So I'm saying, like, you know how when you have someone that's been working for you for a while and they put their notice in, and you're like, all right, I see.
He might be checked out.
Could be.
But somebody who is not checked out is Mr. Alex Palou.
As well as Mr. Colton Herta, which I believe we're looking at both of them right here.
We are.
No, that's Colton Herta and Alexander Rossi. Not Palou, pardon me.
Palou finished, spoiler, P2.
With
a
wing that looked worse for wear.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a photo in here. I'll try to find one. But a wing that was just dangling the whole time.
It was funny. I remember watching, and I saw when the wing initially got damaged, and it was a small crack. And by the end of the race, it was like 2/3 of the way cracked off.
Yeah.
And it wasn't where, like, the actual nose cone comes off of the car. It was, like, right at the tip.
Yep.
So it was hanging on by...
There it is.
Oh, yeah, look. It's just... You can actually see the amount of crack goes more than halfway through the Honda logo.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to hang on with this while fuel saving at the same time. And did you notice that he pit, I think it was either on or one lap prior than the Will Power and other guys that were in this battle?
Yeah.
And he finished the race, but they had to pit for splash of fuel.
How did he manage that?
Where does 2 laps of fuel come from?
I don't know.
I
Thin air?
don't know either.
Is it pixie dust?
Is this wing creating lift and making him faster on the straights and more efficient? I don't know.
Could be.
It was an impressive drive regardless.
Alex Palou was a stud.
He's a monster right now.
I mean, he just looked unfazable.
Yeah.
And was it Palou that passed Colton Herta or Colton Herta that passed Palou at one point that I thought was one of the coolest passes in the world? It was, you know, the track where it was a right and then a sweeping left into another right sort of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Whoever it was, I can't remember. But it was a pass in that really narrow spot where as he was passing, he was full sideways.
Jeez.
It was a full wheel drift. He came through the right, got on throttle really early, and just drifted his way all the way to stuff it into the inside of the next corner. Mm-hmm. It was amazing to watch.
Palou is an absolute monster right now. The question is now what happens in silly season? What happens in the off season? Where does he go? What happens to him? Because
he goes to AlphaTauri.
Is he? You think so?
Okay. I don't actually think he could, but okay. If I had a magic 8-ball, I'm going to say Checo's getting the boot. I'm going to say Ricciardo's going back to Red Bull.
Ricciardo goes in?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going Palou goes to AlphaTauri.
And has the AlphaTauri seat.
Uh-huh.
From Ricciardo.
And Checo is, I don't know, making biscuits somewhere, doing something.
Nick DeVries ends up back in IndyCar? Or in IndyCar?
Nick DeVries ends up in Champ Car.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Lemons.
Oh, boy. Straight to SRX for you.
Yes. you get in a World Racing League.
All right. This race was pretty entertaining. I was impressed that Alex Palou was able to bring that car home, especially with the fuel deficit that he had. And who took down the win?
The win was Mr. Christian Lundgaard with Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan Racing.
Right.
I believe that was their first win in a very long time.
Yeah. For that team, yes.
Yeah.
Also, for Christian Lundgaard, his first win overall ever in the series.
That's cool.
And he shaved the mustache for it. He had a rough-looking mustache that he decided to shave.
I can sympathize. The
Yes.
few times I've tried to grow a mustache, it's not great.
Yeah, I think it was either a bet or a tradition thing. Whereas when I win, I'll shave it.
Well, he shaved it.
Thank goodness.
He had a good drive too.
He did.
He just had he had a consistent, clean drive.
Yes, he did. From pole to the win, full max mode, clean as could be.
There wasn't any real drama that I remember with Lundgaard. It was just clean, concise, precise, perfect driving.
Good for him.
Yeah, very good for him. It was Christian Lundgaard, Alex Palou, and then Colton Herta, top 3.
Yeah. Palou and Herta are the monsters of Indy right now.
Yes, they are.
Yep. So let's jump over to some NASCAR, because NASCAR was over at the Magic Mile.
The Magic Mike?
Here. No, it's the Mile, not Mike.
Okay.
They were in, what was it, New Hampshire, I think it was?
Yes.
New Hampshire Motor Speedway?
New Hampshire. No, It's New Hampshire.
Sure. Which is a mile-long track that's kind of a flatter oval. Not a ton of banking. So you're using a lot of brakes here. I think that this is a tire management track as well.
Stop for just a second. The sponsor on that number 6 car. Do they know about Ocean Gate?
Oh, boy. Build submarines.
You're not supposed to have that sponsor after that.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Could not resist that.
Also, how did that make it onto a NASCAR?
That's what I'm saying. BuildSubmarines.com.
That's a weird one.
Okay.
All right. Regardless, this track in general, fuel tire management kind of race. Kind of fun to watch in NASCAR, but also kind of boring.
It's different.
It is. You kind of really got to be into NASCAR to want to watch this. Now, this was rained out on Sunday. That whole area has been just flooded as of recently.
Yeah, the Northeast has been very deep in water.
Very wet. But this race took place on Monday afternoon, so the TV ratings are probably absolute poop.
Horrible.
Yeah, pretty bad. And overall, there was a bunch of crashes that all looked very similar, where it was either something on the car breaks and someone puts it into the outer wall through a corner.
Yeah.
Or they just lose it coming out of the corner and do a 360 and maybe tap a person or two and then keep going.
Yeah, they touch some marble, they touch a wall, they touch something, and away you go.
Yep. The only big notable that I really saw was Kyle Busch decided he was done racing this weekend, and he just stuffed it into the wall really hard.
Yeah.
And retired the car. But that was like the gist of what happened in NASCAR this weekend. There wasn't a ton.
Yeah. Me.
The new cars, I don't think that this track suits them all that well.
Why?
You can slide the cars, but you can't, with the tire sidewall being so small now, so thin, you can't feel the track as well. I don't know how to put it. They're bigger, stiffer cars that struggle on this kind of track.
Maybe they're just not as pliable.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. That is a good way to put it. Whereas if you go to like the 1.5-mile ovals that are the repaved Atlanta,
yeah,
you can basically do pack racing now. Yeah. Where that used to be a slide the car around the track. So true. I don't know. These cars just don't suit this track super well, in my opinion.
Understood.
Yeah. But who took down the win?
The win went to Marty Truex Jr., followed by Joey Logano in P2, and then Kyle Larson P3. So Truex, Logano, Larson.
All right.
Interesting finish to that race.
Yes, indeed. So we have something else that's interesting that we need to chat about.
We do have something else in the racing world that is interesting to chat about. We did kind of hint at this a little bit earlier when we were talking about Mr. Grosjean, but it's his future team.
It is.
And their car was unveiled.
The Lamborghini LMDh GTP, whatever you want to call the class.
Yes, it is the Lamborghini SC63 LMDh. I believe is what they call it.
So this is going to be participating in
IMSA and the WEC,
both.
Which means it's not an LMH, it's an LMDh.
Okay.
Because you can't put an LMH in IMSA.
Let's just make it more confusing, why don't we?
Correct.
Great.
I mean, you probably could with homology, but realistically, you're going to have LMDHs in IMSA and LMDHs in both, but LMHs in the WEC.
We can have car convergence, but we can't name them the same.
No, that wouldn't make
no
too
way.
much sense. But look at the thing.
It looks great.
Mm-hmm.
It looks fantastic.
Does it look to you like what a Lamborghini hypercar should look like? Like if you close your eyes and picture a Lamborghini hypercar, does it look like this new SC63?
No, but if I close my eyes and I think of the Porsche, the Ferrari, the Toyota, any brand.
To me, if I close my eyes, I could see the Toyota and the Ferrari. The Cadillac, too.
The Cadillac, probably the most.
But Toyota, Ferrari, Cadillac, I could see mentally. Porsche, Peugeot, God, no. No one pictured that anywhere.
No.
But it doesn't, to me, look like a Lamborghini hypercar in my head.
Yeah.
It looks good.
It does.
I'm not poo-pooing this. I love the look of it. But I don't know if it screams Lamborghini to me.
No. I don't know what they would have had to do. Just like take the Aventador front end and stick it on the front end of this car.
Well, they've kind of done that with the rear.
Yeah.
They've done the taillights of the, whatever it was, the Rivuelto or something like that.
Right.
Now, they did unveil this at Goodwood, by the way. They did the pictures on Goodwood. Here's my issue. All of the LMDh cars are starting to look and sound the same.
Yes.
You have different liveries and different headlights.
There is a rule book to extract the most performance out of the vehicle. You will eventually find a specific shape of the bodywork that will do that.
That's correct. Now, here's the issue. That is very specific for LMDh. LMH is kind of more of an open book because you can design your chassis. LMDh, you have to use almost a pre-manufactured chassis.
Right.
They use the Ligier.
In theory, the bodywork is supposed to be up to the manufacturer as well. In both, in theory. But in aerodynamic practice,
there's a shape that's just more aerodynamic than another.
There is. They clearly all have a relatively similar shape. They're not all exactly the same. The Peugeot being the way outlier. But I do wish in the front this would have looked a little more Lamborghini-esque. I don't know. Maybe with some paint they could make it look a little different.
Well, that's the livery.
I know. But you never know. They could change it.
Fair.
It's easier to change that than it is the shape of the bodywork.
You know, that's right. Yeah, I don't know. To me, okay, let me move on because it is powered by a twin-turbo V8.
Okay.
I think we're running into a problem with GTP and LMDh.
What's that?
They're all going to sound the same with the exception of the Cadillac in the Cadillac.
Yes.
They're all going to have very similar pitches and tones. The Cadillac and the Acura are the most different because one's a big NA V8, one's a V6, right? Mm-hmm. But the Porsche, the Toyota, they all are going to sound very similar.
Yeah. I'm a little shocked that we didn't have more diversity from the manufacturers. Because they did give them the open book on the bodywork and in theory the open book for the engine as well. Within some reason, but you could have put whatever size and cylinders you wanted in there.
I wish they went V10.
I do too. It wouldn't make sense for how their road-going cars are going, which I think is the crux of the problem that we're starting to get into.
Well, kind of. I mean, the new, whatever is the replacement for the Aventador is, it's V12 still, just hybrid.
Right. Certainly this is a hybrid. I do wish they would have gone V10 or V12. It would have been great. Yep. I don't know why, for example, Porsche didn't go the flat 6. They went V8.
Well, their previous prototype wasn't flat 6.
Yeah, but it's the brand.
I agree.
It's a Porsche.
But the previous, the 919 was V8.
I know that fits better for the chassis, but what does it matter for the chassis? This is your this is your Le Mans race car. You have an open book. Who cares?
I'm with you.
BOP it to be fair. That's what's going to happen anyway.
I'm with you. You. From my understanding, they're going to field one car in IMSA and one car in the WEC.
Only one.
There's a chance for more, but as of now,
I'm sure Le Mans will have two, and maybe Daytona will have two.
Daytona is not happening.
Oh, they won't make Daytona?
There's a slim chance that they do.
Just too early?
Yeah, they're quoting that it's highly unlikely that they will be ready for the Rolex.
Interesting.
They're aiming for Qatar or Sebring.
Okay.
We'll see. Now, I do know some of the drivers for IMSA. You got Mirko Bortolotti, if I could speak correctly. We got Andrea Caldarelli, and Romain Grosjean, and Daniel Kvyat. So you've got at least 2 former F1 drivers.
Yep. That's a good driver lineup. It'll be impressive.
Is it with Romain Grosjean?
Well, yes. He's still a good racing driver. He's just struggling in Indy right now.
If he doesn't let go of the wheel.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the look of it. Yeah, it's a little odd looking. It's a little generic looking, but
a little bit. I do like it.
Yeah.
Again, don't think that I'm crapping on it because I like it. It'll just be interesting to see how it performs.
The more manufacturers, the better.
I bet you it'll do better than Porsche.
Yes. So that means that we next year we have this coming. We have Alpine, I think, coming to the WEC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is there anyone else?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I think there's 2 more coming to the WEC, basically. Okay. And 1 more to IMSA. I don't think Alpine is coming to IMSA.
I don't know yet.
We'll
find out.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's that.
Solid.
Now, there are some races coming up this weekend. Starting Formula 1. The Hungarian Grand Prix is happening this weekend. So, let's see who Max Verstappen has on the Max Verstappen podcast.
Max is hungry.
Yeah. Let's see. IMSA is at one of our favorite tracks, Lime Rock.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
The Lime Rock race for IMSA is always so much fun to watch. It is such a handful.
Oh, yeah.
Pure, utter chaos.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to watch that. NASCAR race in Pocono. Indy is actually racing a doubleheader in Iowa this weekend.
That's right. They're doing the doubleheader.
Iowa 1 and 2.
Yeah, and there's some big concert event going on as well, which would be kind of interesting.
So is this like the biggest thing for the state of Iowa?
Yeah. Certainly.
So if you live in Iowa, what are the things you look forward to? You look forward to wrestling and the Iowa Indy doubleheader.
Is there a NASCAR race in Iowa?
Probably.
I think so. I think it's the same track that they're going to.
Probably.
I think so. But yes, Indy at Iowa will be interesting.
It will. Which I believe is actually, I thought I heard someone say that Lundgaard is really quick at Iowa.
Oh, that's
so there's a chance, and I remember hearing someone say that the Indy Toronto winner, Lundgaard, he may be in store for a back-to-back.
Ooh.
Let's see how that shapes out.
That'd be very cool.
It would be.
Yes.
So do you have anything else for episode 243?
Yes, one more thing. Ooh. I'll be racing the iRacing 24 at Spa this weekend.
Oh, GT3 cars?
GT3 BMW we picked, but yep. Should be fun.
Right. Let's see how that goes.
Should be fun.
Is your split looking competitive?
We won't know until race day who we're racing against, but in practice, yes, we look competitive time-wise.
Good.
Yes.
Let's go, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Can't dig it. So it's going to wrap us up then. Thanks so much for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, and drop a comment on the video. Let us know, what do you think about the new Lamborghini LMDh car? Be curious to know your thoughts there. If you're listening on audio only, send us those thoughts via social. Facebook is We Are Auto. Instagram is We Are Auto _. YouTube is We Are Auto. And our website is weareauto.io. So thanks again. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.